Mikhail Tal, known as the Magician of Riga, was a Latvian chess grandmaster who became the 8th world chess champion in 1960. Renowned for his daring and imaginative style, Tal was celebrated for his ability to conjure unexpected and brilliant combinations on the chessboard. Born in 1936 in Riga, Latvia, Tal showed exceptional talent from a young age, quickly rising through the ranks of Soviet and international chess. His victory over Mikhail Botvinnik in the 1960 World Championship match marked him as one of the most charismatic and influential players in chess history, despite chronic health issues. Tal's passion for the game never waned, and he continued to compete at the highest levels until his death in 1992. His legacy endures, inspiring generations of players with his creativity, boldness, and relentless pursuit of brilliance. Today we gonna see the match between Mikhail Tal versus Stanislav Winter held in Prague Radio Sim on 1960. Mikhail Tal opens with King's Gambit, a aggressive opening as his reputation, and Stanislav Winter accept the challenge. You won't believe what happened in the game, so let's start the game. Oh, I forgot, you guys are awesome for liking and subscribing my small channel. Thank you all for your support. How many likes can I get in this video? My target is 500 likes. Without any delay, let's start the show. Tal is white here, and he starts with a move e4, e5 by Winter, and f4. Mikhail Tal goes for the King's Gambit. Though Mikhail Tal is considered as one of the great attacking player of all time, but in his whole career Tal chose this opening for a few times. The King's Gambit was one of the most popular openings for over 300 years, but it's infrequently seen at a high level nowadays. As Black can obtain a reasonable position by returning the extra pawn to consolidate, Black captured on f4, we see King's Gambit accepted, knight f3, d5, e takes d5, knight f6, and bishop b5 check. c6, d takes c6, b takes c6, bishop c4, knight d5, white castles kingside, bishop d6, black pieces are overprotecting this pawn on f4 square, knight c3, bishop e6, knight e4, and bishop e7. Black is keeping alive his dark square bishop, but actually it was better to castle kingside. And of course, this knight takes d6 move can't cost Black any problems. Instead, after knight e4, bishop e7 was played, bishop b3, knight d7. Still, it was not too late to castle kingside, but knight e7 was on the board, d4, knight f6, knight g5, and bishop g4. And in this position, instead of playing g4, if castling on kingside, then white can capture on e6 and then play knight g6. Black can face serious problems since the pawn on e6 is weak. Let's go back. After knight g5, we see bishop g4, queen d3, and knight d7. Already, this is move 14, and we can see that Black is ignoring the castle on kingside. When your opponent is going for King's Gambit, you have to understand that white has very aggressive intentions. Moreover, when your opponent is Mikhail Tal, it is very important to bring your king on a safer square as soon as possible. But instead, after queen d3, knight d7 was played, bishop takes d5. Instead of capturing on d5, it was better to knight takes f7. This is very aggressive, and after knight sacrifice on f7 gives white a huge advantage. Actually, white can unleash very dangerous attack, but this was a chess Simon. Mikhail Tal overlooked that move, and he captured on d5, c takes d5, bishop takes f4, h6, and only now Mikhail Tal goes for knight takes f7 move. Looks very impressive, but there is even more strong move, which is rook e1. The idea is that if h takes g5, then bishop f6, and Black can face serious problems, but again we can see that the Black king stuck in the center of the board is becoming an easy target for white pieces, and if a move like bishop e6, then white can go for this dazzling rook takes e6. If f take e6, then queen g6 check, and Black king is checkmated in few moves. Let's go back. After h6, Mikhail Tal played f7. Let's see how he is going to organize this attack. King takes f7, knight e5 check, knight takes e5, bishop takes e5 discover check, bishop f6, rook f4, both attacking the bishop and at some point also freeing the f1 square for the other rook, h5, now come h3, bishop e6, and g4. Mikhail Tal is choose a very ambitious line exposing his kingside in order to target Black king, but this can actually give Black a counter attack. Right now, the threat is g5, h take g4 was played, and rook and h4. Not the best continuation. It was better to play rook h6. If g5, then rook g6, and after king f2, black can simply win this pawn on g5 square, and black has an advantage. But after h takes g4, rook h4 was played. Rook f1 and rook takes g4, which is a fatal mistake. It was very important to move away the king from this very dangerous f-file. If bishop takes f6, then g takes f6. If queen g6 check, then king h8. Though white attack looks scary, but black is holding in this position. Of course, you can't capture on f6 with the rook because of this rook g for fork. Let's go back. After rook f1, we see rook takes g4 check, and now we see the exchange of rooks on g4 square, after which the queen jumps on h7 square. White is pinning the pawn on g7 and is threatening to capture f6, king e6, queen g6, still keeping the pin, and at the same time it's threatening to capture on g4, bishop h3, and rook f3. Looks like white managed to trap the bishop on h3 square, and protecting the bishop can be very dangerous because of this rook is removed, and again black is facing serious problems. After rook f3, black played queen e7. And after bishop takes f6, black position is starting to collapse. White is winning the black queen. Now comes queen g7. The queen is coming after the pawn on a7, bishop f5, queen b7, and black resigned. If rook g8 check, then king f2, black is losing one more pawn and black is down on too many points. So in this position, black regains the game. Hope you like it. Don't forget to like and subscribe.